Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Alex and I'm an international personal stylist, and today I am telling you the 20 little things that make you look unpolished. Now I'm going to separate this video into 5 separate sections, and the first thing that we're going to be starting off is footwear. You should not be walking around in beaten up, scuffed shoes. Now I have a story about this. So I went to boarding school in the South Island of New Zealand. My dad came in for parent-teacher interview, so he flew in from the North Island, and he saw me in my uniform walking around in incredibly scuffed looking shoes. Now this is a bit extra, but he pulled me out of school a little bit early and said, no daughter of mine will be walking around in shoes like that. And that was when that standard was set for me at 15 years old. It was quite normal at the school that I went to not have the sharpest shoes in the world, but this is a very polished standard, and my dad is he's very much an Englishman. Now, the next thing is you can take care of your shoes yourself. That day when he took me to the shoe shop, he also made sure that I had a shoe care kit. Now this is something that you can keep at home, particularly for black shoes, so that you can touch up your shoes before you leave the house. Now, the next thing is trainers for the wrong occasion. Is a trainer appropriate for the situation, or am I going to be the only person probably wearing trainers or plimsolls? If you're from the UK, I'll leave that one there. If you can avoid it, don't wear trainers, particularly to work or to weddings or to funerals. Now, the next thing is fun socks. I know cats and dogs are cute. I have no problem. If you want to wear cute socks at nighttime, go for it. If you want to wear cute socks under your winter boots and you can't see them, go for it. But having fun socks can ruin a really polished outfit. Keep it for bedtime, keep it for bed socks, keep it for boot socks. I will say this, while you may want to wear them under boots, don't wear fun socks to the airport, because I have had an occasion where I wore boots to the airport, and of course when you go through security it's kind of like 50-50 whether you're going to have to take off your boots. I had snowmen socks on that I got for Christmas from Dorothy Perkins in the UK, and I walked through the scanner with snowmen on my socks, and in that moment I felt all of 5 years old and a little bit embarrassed. Not my most polished moment. Just a quick pause in this video. Do you want to be a subscriber? I currently have 6,346 subscribers. Feel free to join in. I've been doing this for 3 months now. I make a new video every week. And that said, let's get back into the video. Now, the next section is clothing. Crinkled, wrinkled clothing is one of the first ways that you will look unpolished. The best way that you can avoid having to spend your life with an iron is by getting a steamer. A steamer can cost as little as $30. It will take you 1 minute to steam something. A powerful steamer can work wonders. In fact, some of my clients even have invested in steaming closets. And steaming your clothes is a no-brainer, and it makes you look like you've made such an effort when really it's only taken you 30 seconds to a minute to go over a piece of clothing. Now, it's worth mentioning that when you go into a store and you're buying something off the rack, almost all of those clothes have been steamed. Even in the cheapest stores, they will still try and steam their clothing because they know that it's going to make it look that much more expensive and that much more polished. Now, this next one is a little bit more for people in the know, but it is for your coats and jackets. Now, when they are made properly, they will have this little kind of penguin flap at the back, which will be tacked shut in kind of a crisscross manner. This is a tailor's tack, and it is meant to be unpicked. This whole point of this kind of flap is that it enables you to walk more easily. Unpick it. It is meant to be open. But have a look at your jackets now if you don't know this tip, and have a look at the back of them. If they are a medium to high quality coat, they will almost always have this tack on them. Unpick it, or go in with little nail scissors and be very careful and unpick that tailor's tack. Now the next one is underwear, and choosing the wrong underwear for your outfit. It is really important that with every single thing you wear, whether it be a dress, whether it be jeans, whether it be a top like this, that you are thinking about making sure that it's not obvious what underwear you are wearing. So for this top, I have to wear a strapless bra because this top kind of goes out into my armpit. Therefore, this needs a strapless bra. If I was wearing a white shirt, I couldn't wear something like a red bra underneath because then you would see my underwear, unless that was on purpose, but generally it shouldn't be if you're trying to look polished. Now the other thing is underwear which is too tight or too big. In that case, it's not giving you any support whatsoever, or hanging off you, or gaping and you can see things that you shouldn't see. Or if a bra is too tight and you're wearing a top which is more form-fitting, then you're going to look very, you can see all the indents going on, and that's not a super polished look either. So underwear that fits, underwear that is the right color, and underwear that you cannot see. Now the next one is de-pilling your jumpers and jackets. So generally with knits, you'll find that they do get these kind of little balls on them, particularly around the armpits and areas that rub. You can buy a de-pilling machine and make your jackets, your jumpers, your knits look brand new again within about 5 to 10 minutes. It's an ongoing job because that's just the nature of these fabrics when you wear wool or mixed knit fabrics, but it makes a really big difference, and it's a really easy way to look polished. It's a really easy way to make something look new again. Now the next one is lint rolling yourself before you leave the house, particularly if you have a cat or a dog or a bunny that molts, or if you have dandruff, or if you molt. Now I am a bit of a Rapunzel girl, so when I molt, it's these really long octopus hairs. So I need to make sure that someone gets them off my back, otherwise that's not the best look. Particularly if I'm wearing a really dark color and you can see all these blonde hairs on them. So lint roll yourself. That is just a really great way to look polished. Now this next section is makeup and grooming. If you have your ears pierced, wear earrings. The easiest way to add a little bit of polish to an outfit is just to wear earrings. Don't forget to put them on when you leave the house. A little bit of a pearl goes a long way. All of my clients end up wearing pearls. They are the most flattering, polished earring you can wear. Set and forget. I mean, I probably wear mine for 6 months at a time, in all honesty. Now this next one, some people deal with more than others, but it's chapped or cracked lips. Keep on top of this because this is a really obvious, unpolished thing when you've got this massive piece of dead skin on your lip as you're talking. It's not the most polished look. If you don't have a medical condition going on and it's just something that you occasionally deal with in winter, do yourself a favor, buy yourself a lanolin balm or a lanolin oil, put on that lanolin at nighttime, and over a couple of days your lips will thank you for it and they will be beautifully moisturized in the morning. Now, chapped lips are really noticeable under dry lipstick, so just be really careful with those lipsticks that you're wearing. And since I'm here, lipstick. If you don't keep on top of your lipstick, you will have 3 different shades of red or pink or brown going on. You need to keep your lipstick with you in your bag and do a check of your lips with your phone. Like when you check your phone, feel free to just put it on the front camera and have a quick look at to see what's going on. Keep on top of your lipstick. If you're going to wear lipstick, which I do, I wear it every single day, I always bring my lipstick with me. Be wary, the matte lipsticks tend to come off first and will come off in the middle of your lip, and then you'll be left with a really not super classy looking lip liner effect, which you didn't intend. I really recommend the Chanel lipsticks. I'm wearing one right now. This is Rouge Cocoa Flash 82 Live. Done. If you wear a My Lips But Better lipstick, it will be far less obvious when it starts to come off, but just keep on top of your lipstick, and I think that's all I need to say about that. Now the next one is smudging mascara. Now smudging mascara is genuinely the bane of my life because I have oily eyelids, and the best non-flaking, non-smudging mascaras in the world will still flake and smudge on me. It's just the bane of my life. This means I have to do this multiple times a day. and you have to have good friends who can tell you when it's smudging. So find a mascara that doesn't smudge, or when you do your lipstick and you're checking on your lipstick, do a quick check of under your eye just to keep on top of your mascara. Foundation that doesn't match your neck. If you have a really, really bad foundation match and you've got a demarcation line along your jawline that is just not the classiest or most polished look in the world, get matched for a foundation that really is a good match for you. It may mean spending a bit more money, but if you're able to find a foundation that looks really good on you and is a good match for you, you don't have to use as much of it. It's a cost saver and it will make you look more polished. If you have a really bad foundation match, you need to blend it down your neck. If budget is a problem at the moment and you can't afford to get yourself a new foundation, blend it as well as you possibly can, because that demarcation line or that foundation line will always look unpolished. Now this next one might seem obvious, which is unkept eyebrows. Eyebrows which are too long, eyebrows which are kind of growing out of control, monobrow, etc. Now in some religions and in some cultures, you are prohibited from removing any body hair. So I understand that there are religious exemptions to this one. However, if you are able to, it's not against your culture, it's not against your religion to keep on top of your brows, please do, because it is one of the easiest ways to look polished. Now, if you have a dad or a husband or a man in your life where their eyebrows are starting to grow over their eyes, do yourself a favor, brush them up and give them a trim. Make sure that there is no monobrow and make sure that the eyebrow isn't growing onto their eyelid. Keep those brows in their lane. Now this next section is short and sweet but incredibly important, and it is your paws and your claws, aka your fingernails and your toenails. Now I'm going to start with toenails because you need to take pride in your feet. I cannot stress this enough that I learned this the hard way when a school friend said to me, Alex, like, look at your toenails, you need to fix them. And I was like, oh, this isn't such a big deal, is it? Because it was never a big deal in my house. And she said to me, oh, my mum always said, take pride in your feet. And she saw me with really, bad looking toenails and she was like, no, let's fix that right now. And I learned that lesson immediately, and it has stuck with me since I was 14 years old. Take pride in your feet. Your toenails should not look like talons, and you should not let your toenail polish grow out to the point where your feet look like they have been abandoned. Now the next thing is nail polish. Make sure that it is not chipped or flaking off, or that it is grown out too far. Also, please do not bite your nails. Nails are a sign of self-respect and cleanliness, and it is one of the first areas that give away that you're not looking very polished. Now this is the last section, and it's actually not about looking polished. Being polished is also about being pleasant to be around. Now this includes your breath, your teeth, and your body odor. So let's start with your teeth. Having things stuck in your teeth will make you look unpolished. So when you check your lipstick and your mascara to make sure that your mascara is not smudged and your lipstick is still in place, show those pearly whites and just make sure that nothing is stuck in them, because sadly in the world that we live in now, we are uninclined to make a comment about people's appearance, which is nice, but it means that even the nicest people won't tell you that you have something stuck in your teeth. So you're gonna have to do that. Yellowing and teeth staining. Now I realize that this isn't a super easy fix, but if you're a coffee drinker or a Coca-Cola drinker or your teeth are getting stained, it's important to use a whitening toothpaste, and you can even use a color correcting toothpaste like a purple toothpaste, which will minimize yellow staining. Now this next one is bad breath. If you have bad breath and you don't know why, it could be something like tonsil stones, it could be gingivitis, but make sure that you're brushing your teeth really well. Make sure you're flossing your molars. And if you have like recurrent bad breath, go to your dentist and work it out. I know that isn't super cheap, but bad breath is unpleasant to be around, and no matter how polished you are, if you've got really bad breath, it's gonna ruin it. It's gonna make you not really pleasant to be around. Now, I mentioned it a little bit earlier on, but body odor and BO, no matter how polished you are, it kind of ruins the vibe. What you can do, now not many people actually know this, is look at taking chlorophyll. So chlorophyll is what makes plants green, but in humans, it completely minimizes and gets rid of body odor. It somehow just cleanses the pores. It is the best way to stop being stinky from the inside out. Now, I will add that clinical deodorant is, I don't know what chemicals it has in it, but my golly gosh, does it work. I am a sweater, and if I am nervous, my sweat smells different. I had to switch from my more natural deodorants to a clinical one, and it made such a big difference. So what you may also find is if you've gone through a really stressful period of your life, your sweat may have more cortisol in it, and your clothing may have that cortisol sweat embedded in it. So if that's the case, put them through a oxy action. This is not an ad, but put them, like, soak them properly and get that cortisol sweat out of it. Take your chlorophyll, use a good deodorant, and you'll be good to go. Now, this last one is overpowering perfume ruins the vibe. If you are this polished, pearl-wearing, blow-dried lady and you're just la-di-da, I'm so polished, my life is polished, I'm just this polished lady, and you have this stench reeking from you of 16 sprays of perfume, ruins the vibe. Having perfume that is appropriate for the occasion is important. I've seen women and men douse themselves in 8+ sprays of perfume. Not necessary. Horrific for even the most perfume-loving people to be around. So if you're gonna wear perfume, 1 spray here, dab, dab, 1 spray here, dab, dab, done, okay? 2 sprays max. Make sure that you're wearing appropriate perfume for the occasion. Now, I'm a perfume collector. I've got many. I wear citrus in summer and more warming perfumes in winter. Mademoiselle, Coco Mademoiselle and C by Giorgio Armani are my kind of go-tos. I tend to wear more Mademoiselle in the summer and C in the winter. But I mean, I wear all of my perfumes. I'm wearing a Jo Malone one actually at the moment, which I really like. That is all of my tips, 20 tips, and they are going to make you look super polished. It really is about all those little kind of micro habits. It is so worth doing because it really helps build great first impressions and will take away that kind of fear of first impressions and imposter syndrome when you know that you've really done the work. Now, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. It's getting pretty late now, so I better finish up. But thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye. Woo!